Good evening. Thanks for tuning in to the Pac-10 Recap Show. I'm your host, Shane Falco, along with my co-host, Don King. We're going to go ahead and recap the game of the week, go over the new rankings, talk about the individual performances that stood out over this past week, and also the spreads for the games that are coming up this Sunday. Recapping the game of the week we had for Week 2, we had the Weekend Warriors and the Hooligans. Very closely contested game. Weekend Warriors' experience ended up coming out over some of the athletic players of the Hooligans. And Weekend Warriors right now look like the team to beat, knocking off the Hooligans 19-13. What do you got for the spreads for this upcoming week there, Don?
Week 3 Pac-10 spreads. We got an out-of-conference game with the Weekend Warriors facing Wreckage. I got the Weekend Warriors finally taking a loss this week, 21-14, so they're going to end up losing by 7 points. We got the Ringers and the Savages, our game of the week for Week 3 in the Pac-10. 20-13, I got the Ringers winning this one by 7. You know, these guys have had a tough couple seasons here in the grid. And you know what? All their hard work is starting to finally pay off. We got Swarm versus the Wranglers. You know, flip a coin on who's going to win this game. But I do have the Wranglers winning 12-0 over the Swarm. Swarm keep fighting tough, but their quarterback can't throw the ball past 5 yards. Hooligans versus H-Town. I got H-Town losing this one by 12 points, 18-6. I think the Hooligans, whether the quarterback shows up or not, I think that they're going to end up putting up some touchdowns because they have more athleticism. And you know, we're going to see how many passes that Steve's wide receivers can drop. What do you have for your rankings there, Falco?
Well, the Pac-10 Falco Illustrator rankings are going to be as such. You got the Weekend Warriors on top at number 1, one of the most experienced teams in this conference, and so far they've been putting it all together. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Ringers. Definitely showing some improvement in their 3rd season here in the grid. Been sticking with it, added some new people. So obviously the hard work's starting to pay off there as they really put on 2 big performances. Number 3, I got to go with the Hooligans. Their only loss being to the Weekend Warriors in a very close game. I think this team's been around. The last 2 seasons they played together as the Border Hoppers. They've been in the championship game both times, so we'll see if they can make another run at it. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Savages. Played a close game against the Hitmen, probably closer than it should have been, even though they came out on top. Their athleticism alone should have been enough to run all over the Hitmen, but just something that just isn't clicking with that team yet. The Wranglers coming in next, number 5. A team that's always made up of a bunch of high school kids with some coaches. The team's definitely going to be competitive whenever everything hits, but it's always hit or miss with the kids, so we'll see how they perform the rest of the season. Next is going to be H-Town, preseason number 1, looking down at number 6 now. I mean, all this team does is drop passes. When they start learning to catch some touchdowns, they're going to be winning a lot more games. They easily should have knocked off the Wranglers this past week, but when you start dropping 3 and 4 touchdowns, you're definitely going to knock yourself out of the game. Last but not least, we got the Swarm. You can call them Ringers 2.0. First season in the grid, they're going to take some lumps, but if they can stick with it like the Ringers have proven, that you can come around and become a quality team in your conference. So we'll hope they stay with it. They do have a pretty good playmaker on that team, so if they can stick with it, then they can definitely improve throughout the season. What do we got here? Individual performances. The Ringers are going to be all over this one. Got Isaiah Hill from the Ringers coming in as the Offensive Player of the Week. 3 catches, 120 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Obviously a very productive day with his performance. And defensively, we're going to have co-defensive players of the week. First from the Wranglers, and a very good effort, Sam Gargone, hopefully his name is pronounced correctly. 3 flag pulls and 3 sacks. And then go along with that, Carlos Ponce from the Ringers with 3 flag pulls and 3 sacks as well. So obviously a very good effort by those guys on the defensive line, putting that pressure on the QB. Let's take a look at the game of the week for this conference there, Don.
All right, Falco. Our Week 3 game of the week in the Pac-10 should be an entertaining one between the Savages and the Ringers. Like we've talked about before, I mean, the Ringers put in a lot of hard work, but it's actually starting to come to fruition, starting to win some games. I got them winning this game as well against the Savages. Ringers are 2-0 right now, Savages 1-1. Ringers are scoring at 29 points per game, that's 2nd in the league. They're only giving up 14 points per game. The Savages are scoring 9 points per game off of Hail Marys from Bobby, and they're giving up 7 points per game just because they do have an athletic team. They just don't run any routes except for the 9 route. What are your thoughts on the game, Falco?
Yeah, the 3 flies up rule definitely applies to the Savages there, so we'll see how that pans out. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Savages are the Ringers' first victim ever in the grid, so it's kind of a nice little twist to this game. See how things have turned around, if the Savages have actually ever improved, and we'll see just how far the Ringers have come, if they can really take the Savages to the woodshed the way they've taken everyone else to the woodshed so far. That's going to wrap it up for us here in the Pac-10. Tune in next week to find out the new rankings, new standout performances, and good luck to everyone on the field.